Give us a few more minutes, guys. They said that we're starting in 7 minutes. The actual AMA. I'm currently just setting up all the live streams right now. Ready? Everyone in the live streams here, the AMA is actually taking place on Twitter. So if you want to ask any questions, there's actually an airdrop happening too. So you can get some bonuses for asking questions. Jump in to the Twitter, go to the OSIS Twitter. So OSIS_world on Twitter, or I guess they call it x.com now. Go to x.com, go to Twitter, go to whatever you want to call it, OSIS World on Twitter. And you're going to see that there's a Twitter Spaces happening right now. It's like a nice little purple panel with OSIS and Kommunitas.
Hi everyone, I hope I am audible to you all. Greetings and welcome everyone. I would like to wish you Ramadan Kareem for those of you who celebrate
We're starting.
The season. And today we are so excited to have you join us as we explore the groundbreaking ecosystem of OSIS, your key to unlocking the potential of decentralized finance and also services. Of course, it is my pleasure to introduce to our distinguished guest, Mr. Jalal Ibrahimi, as the co-founder of OSIS. Hello, Jalal. How has your day been so far?
Hello, and thank you for the introduction. My day has been very good so far. It's a beautiful Saturday morning here in Toronto, Canada. How has yours been?
Mine is good as well, even though we have a rainy season here, but it's all good.
I'm very happy to hear. And thank you so much for
All right.
having me on the show.
Sure. It is our pleasure. And my name is Mita, and I'll be hosting this AMA session alongside with my partner, Clara.
Hello everyone, I'm Clara, and I want to extend a warm welcome to our distinguished guest today, Mr. Jalal.
Thank you so much, Clara. Pleasure to meet you as well.
Okay, great. So we're very eager to delve into your insights and the groundbreaking advancements happening at OSIS. And before we begin, I would like to remind the audience that we have 2 segments for the session. As usual, the first segment will be introduction about a project, which will consist of 5 questions. And the second segment will be the live session, where the community will ask questions and 10 winners will be picked from the audience.
All right. Thank you so much, Clara, for explaining our rules of today's AMA session. And as usual, before we jump into the questions, Jalal, could you please give our audience a quick rundown of your background and also an overview of what OSIS is all about?
Sure, absolutely. Well, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone here. It's a pleasure to be on the show. First of all, thank you so much, Kommunitas, for having us. My name is Jalal Ibrahimi. I am one of the co-founders of OSIS, and we've been building this project for a while now. The idea actually came in 2017. Myself, personally, I've been in several different industries. My background is in finance, I guess you could say economics as well. And before I started OSIS, I had delved into the fintech industry and a little bit into the entertainment industry. In the past, I actually worked on a project called CoinCare. It's something that myself and my co-founder have built too. It was in 2020, 2021, where we were able to actually help over 3,000 small businesses in the United States get more than $50 million in funding and help during the COVID times when the economy was opening back up and businesses were having a lot of trouble. So my background comes from a lot of finance-related activities, and a lot of that experience I've been able to bring into OSIS. Personally, I've been an entrepreneur for more than 14 years now. Yes, I am young, and yes, I started very young. I remember in 2017, when I was initially introduced to the Web3 space, I watched Bitcoin go from, I think it was 4,000 until 20,000 in that one, it was 6 weeks, I believe 6 weeks, November through December in 2017. And it was so inspiring to get into the space. I read the Bitcoin white paper, and I learned about like the vision of a free global economy that this network created. And I also saw just how crazy the space was when it came to other projects popping up like mushrooms. I remember being a Binance user back then, and they would be having a listing every like 5-6 hours. And I was like, what is going on here? And it's interesting because today our current market is very much like that one in 2017. And I was so inspired by just how powerful people were. I don't believe I've seen in any other space, any other industry, just how influential people can be when they band together and want to do something and accomplish something the same way we've seen it in the Web3 space. This is our space as people. And so this inspired OSIS, a lot of what I wanted to create in OSIS, and myself and my co-founder. We saw that the current global systems, the economy, the societies that we've created to date, there are a lot of different issues, and most people are being completely ignored in the conversation. Not many people are looking for solutions for everyone. There's no such thing as equal opportunity on this planet, even though I believe that it is a human right for there to be equal opportunity. And I feel like this is something that resonated very well when I read that in the Bitcoin white paper and seeing other communities. So where OSIS comes from, OSIS is short for apotheosis. As you guys can see the A in our logo, the A with the little halo around it. Apotheosis stands for, it's a Greek word, and it's actually a very interesting word because you can find it in over 100 different languages. It's the same word. But if you Google search what it means, it's essentially the highest point of achievement of something. Some would call the ascension into perfection apotheosis. Some use it in like Greek mythology when there were Greek gods, and some could even use it in conversations with like other religions and stuff. But it has nothing to do with religion. It has everything to do with our goals to basically bring about a better, a more beautiful, open future for people all around the world, bring equal opportunity. I've had the privilege to travel a lot in the past few years, over 32 countries in the last 4 years, and see what conditions are like and what people are experiencing all over the world, and seeing just how inventive and intelligent people in other places are that don't have the resources that we do, for example, in North America or in Europe, different parts of the world. So it's these people that we are building OSIS for, creating technology that allows anybody to take their financial future into their own hands, be creative, and build in a space that is actually welcoming them, which is the Web3 space. That's a little short introduction. I will get more into the actual technology and the products and the vision, but we call OSIS the first decentralized sovereign organization, building the infrastructure for a free global economy.
All right, thank you so much for sharing your journey and also the inspiring story behind OSIS. I can say that it's fascinating to see how your experiences have shaped these innovative projects, and also the vision and scope of OSIS are truly remarkable. And it's also exciting to think about the impact it could have on decentralization and also tokenizations. And let's delve in deeper in with some questions about the projects will be bring up by Clara.
Okay, so first of all, we would like to know how does OSIS differentiate itself as a web? Sorry, one moment. Okay, so my first question is, how does OSIS differentiate itself from other platforms in the tokenization space, and what unique features does it offer to users?
Great question, Clara. Thank you. I'll tell you a little story. In 2017, when I was inspired by the space, I really wanted to get into the space in not just the capacity of a person that buys Bitcoin or buys XRP or some other currency and holds it like an investor. I was like, how can I participate? How can I create here? I come from an entrepreneurial background, and I was honestly stumped. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to approach it. It was so technical. It was so difficult. I don't come from a technical background. I don't know many people that actually do come from a technical background that is advanced enough to really truly understand the inner workings of the blockchain or decentralization. I would not consider myself a degen. I'm just a normal person, but I see the opportunity that's in this space, and I believe that a lot of people do, but there's a very difficult barrier to entry, and it's the fact that it's so technical. The fact that blockchain and Web3 is, they call it immutable. What does that even mean? Well, it means that all your decisions are permanent. So if you make one little mistake, your whole everything is broken. And that's a very scary thing. When I learned that in 2017, I was like, wow, I don't know how I could get into this space. I don't know how I could create in this space. If I did have the tools that OSIS is providing today, OSIS would have been born in 2017 rather than 2021. So understanding the difficulty of getting into the space, the fact that it is so technical, and really it's the 1% of people that are able to create in the space. Sure, everyone can buy into it, but very few people have been able to create in the space. We've started to create, well, we have today actually a tokenization platform. We call it the OSIS Tokenizer, that allows anybody, really anybody, the ability to create their own Web3 project, whether it's a digital currency like OSIS is, or like KOM is, or Ethereum or Bitcoin, a digital currency, or an NFT collection if they want to go more towards that side of things. For example, a lot of people like to create real world assets as NFTs. These two things that normally are very technical require dozens of hours of specialized blockchain engineer labor and a very intimate know-how of how to approach the blockchain and make sure you don't make any mistakes. We've taken this whole process and we've brought it down to under 60 seconds. We actually posted a video of this if anybody wants to see a visual on the OSIS, really actually all of the socials, but you could check out the ones in the video in our X profile, and you'll see that in 37 seconds, we're able to create a token right there in front of you. It's verified, it's on the blockchain. It's something that I wish I had access to. Tools like this that make it easy, and it's using simple language that doesn't have to do with crazy technical blockchain, Web3, degen, inflation, deflation, all these crazy words. It takes away all of the difficulty and it makes it so really like your grandmother could launch her own project. Now, it doesn't just stop there. Our approach to all of the different products in our suite, and we'll talk about all the different products a little later, I hope to have the opportunity to, is one of user experience first. It's like IBM versus Apple. Both of them made computers, both of them made personal computers, but everyone prefers Apple. I'm on a MacBook right now. And the reason is because Apple is so focused on the user experience. They're obsessed with user experience and design. And that's exactly the same model and thought process that we've adopted, because we recognize that this is a new space. Yes, blockchain and Web3 are going to be commonplace. Every single person in the world is going to be using the blockchain in one way or another in the future. But today, especially early on in the time now where we need the most creators and the most smart people to come in and build this space, we need to make it simple for people to come in the first place. So that is exactly what OSIS is doing. We are user focused. We are design obsessed. And just as you'll see with the very first product we released, we're trying to make it so simple that it's brainless and give people something that normally it would cost them tens of thousands of dollars at a fraction of the price, at a fraction of the time spent, and help them build in this space. We want to tokenize millions of businesses and creators and creatives over the next 10 years. And I would say that kind of summarizes the differentiator and the way that we're coming at this industry.
All right, that's truly impressive. And I really admire how you push yourself in the Web3 world and find the courage to bring OSIS to life. And also the focus on the low cost and also the efficient transactions via the Polygon network also sounds like a game changer for user engagement.
All right, moving on to the next question. Could you explain to us, like, what kind of strategy does OSIS employ to appeal for non-crypto users, and how does it plan to expand its customer base beyond the crypto community?
That is a fantastic follow-up question. We're right on the subject. Thank you. Last week, I traveled to Los Angeles. I'm normally based in Toronto, Canada, but I was in Los Angeles to meet with two very prominent individuals in the entertainment industry. So both of these gentlemen are executives in the music industry. Both of them have worked with the biggest artists in the world. For example, they've made music for Beyonce and Kanye West, and really as many as you can count and name, they've worked with them. And we wanted to speak with them about OSIS and bringing them onto the team because they have a lot of knowledge and experience. They're older gentlemen, they're very successful. And so when we were sitting with them last week, I had this conversation with the one individual who is now our chief strategy officer. His name is Len Nicholson. Y'all can look him up. And he was telling me that I heard about the blockchain industry 10 years ago. All kinds of people I do business with, they've gotten into Bitcoin, they made a ton of money, and they always told me, hey Len, you got to get on this, you got to just get Bitcoin, it's only $20. And he was like, I never did it. I was always on the fence. I was always on the diving board. I didn't feel safe getting into the space. I didn't understand it. This is what he was telling me. And he said, it wasn't until I spoke with you and with Chris, my OSIS co-founder, that I finally felt like I could take that first step and jump into the space. And it was because I was speaking with people that were relatable, people that look like me, that speak like me, that I understand, that I can relate with. And this, I mean, personally for me, that was I felt touched. I felt honored because he's a very successful and very respectable individual. Like, I look up to the guy. He's older than me. He is someone that has achieved a lot of things in life, and on the personal side and the public side, that I look up to. That I look at that like, wow, that's a truly successful person. That person has wealth. It's not just money. It's like his life is good. And to hear that from him was personally like, wow. And he helped me realize the answer to the question you just asked of how are we bringing non-crypto users, non-Web3 users into this space. I had the same reaction in the time that Chris and I went to Times Square in New York City, and we were invited onto Fox Business News. We were on national television in the US, and we were interviewed about the Web3 space. They wanted people who were able to talk about it in a way that's very simple, and that's exactly what we did. And we're out there, we're live, public. You guys can check out the interview on YouTube or on our socials. I'll post it onto X as well, just because I'm referencing it. But we had the pleasure of being on national television in the US for exactly that, being able to relate to people and break this industry down into simple words that anybody can understand, breaking it down to things that people can relate to, and building products that don't ask anybody to do things differently, but to do things the same way with different technology. And so the proof is in the pudding. I think about 50 to 60% of the OSIS user base, for example, our community, came from other industries, other spaces, and had absolutely no idea what the blockchain was. I personally helped hundreds and hundreds of people set up a MetaMask wallet for the first time, actually thousands. They've never used it before, but now they're holding OSIS. We were the first token that they held. We were the reason why they got into and started doing research on Bitcoin and Ethereum and the metaverse and the possibilities and potential of tokenization, the potential of the industry in general. When you look at the world, we helped them learn about economics, understand things like how fiat currency is highly inflationary, how central governments and central banks create currency, things like this. And so we've taken a different approach to the space since day one. I didn't even realize on day one that we were doing this, but the goal of our project is to help people transition from Web 2 to Web 3. That's one of the central pillars of what we do and what we're building for, like we talked about earlier in this AMA, where I said, hey, we need to build this space out and create mass adoption. So we've got to help people who don't know anything technical to come into the space and be able to use it and create in it. That's the important part. We want to help people create in it. Anybody and everybody, whether it's a product or a service, we want to help you do that. One thing I'd like to add from a product perspective and really a partnership perspective, we've built a lot of our partnerships and of course our products around this concept of let's bring more people, let's help more new people get into the space. We're currently preparing to release, it's in the testing phase right now internally, is something called OSIS Mail and another product called OSIS Vault, for example. OSIS Mail is a Web3 email platform. You could say it's similar to Proton Mail. It's for our users who want to have more of a Web3 experience where they have more anonymity and more sovereignty, more control over their data, so that, for example, when you use OSIS Mail, you can sign in with your wallet address. You don't have to share any of your personal information, but you can use it to email anybody. And the same with OSIS Vault. It's Web3 cloud storage where user can sign up and upload their content and whatever they want to hold in Web3. It is what you call a zero knowledge platform, meaning that it's encrypted and that us as OSIS don't know what you're storing in there. That's entirely your place. That is your place. Nobody in the entire universe can see what's in there except for you. And so with products like this, with things like our partnership with Unstoppable Domains, we are issuing NFT domains for our community. With the fact that we're building the OSIS Exchange, being not only a decentralized exchange for all of the people creating and tokenizing in our ecosystem, where they can list and they can kind of use it as a launchpad, similar to Kommunitas. Actually, a lot of it has been actually inspired by our partnership with Kommunitas, seeing how well Kommunitas has put together their processes, their community. Honestly, you guys are the best launchpad experience we've had. So I appreciate working with you and seeing how you're setting a great example for everyone else in the industry of how to operate, how to be fair to people, how to be transparent and help users do their own research. So we're taking a very similar approach to that with new people so that they can come in and they can understand what they're getting into. And they can use products like an email service or a cloud storage service that is Web3, that is blockchain, that they can use to create in the blockchain as well, but also that helps them understand and use Web3 products without doing something that is very difficult or new, or it's just like they're doing every day, but in Web3. So I think that answers the entire question.
All right, thank you so much for such a thorough response. And also hearing how you have helped countless OSIS users progress from having no blockchain knowledge to being provisional, so confident in the ecosystem, it's truly inspiring. And it reflects the platform's dedication to education and also user empowerment. And it is also encouraging to hear that OSIS is working to make the cryptocurrency space more accessible and also relevant to everyday users, rather than just those who are already familiar with blockchain technology. As we all know that Web2 people tends to be skeptical about this industry. So having you around them and explaining how exactly our industry works is really one step ahead from those who haven't done anything.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so for the next question, can you explain how OSIS plans to facilitate the transition from Web 2 to Web 3 for millions of users, and what tools and education resources are provided?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Another great follow-up question. Let's talk about we'll say the two biggest blocks, barriers to entry for people coming in. We've studied this extensively. We've spoken to thousands of our community members and researched it so that we have like a fundamental understanding and external perspective on what makes it difficult for you to come in here, right? We had this conversation with lots and lots of people in our community. And first of all, they say that, hey, it's very technical, and I'm kind of scared because I've heard about crypto scams and I've heard about like the dangers of the space. I've heard that, oh, people use cryptocurrencies to scam people, or they use cryptocurrencies to buy illegal things online. So there's this big misconception of the space, first of all. I'm sure everyone here can relate with when they might have introduced a project to a family member or a friend or just somebody, and they got such a harsh reaction, especially in 2023 when the market was down. Everyone was like, hey, this is all, are you crazy? I think everyone can personally relate with that experience where people were expressing that misconception. I mean, we know, all of us here have experienced and see what this is going to become. That's why we're all here and we're all early. Everyone here is actually very, very fortunate and privileged to be early in this space. We're right here at the perfect time. And how do we help all of our friends and family and coworkers and business partners and our communities? How do we help them get in this space? Well, first of all, we've got to help clear the misconceptions and help educate. A lot of people think crypto, they think scam. They hear NFT, they think, oh, stupid picture and scam. And so the first step, I believe, is that we have to help clear these misconceptions. This involves a joint effort. So yes, OSIS is taking on its fair share and responsibility, but I want to call everyone to action here in this community. We need all of your help. We need everyone's help to start painting this industry from paint a picture of utility, paint a picture of possibility, rather than pump coins and meme coins and things like that. Because I feel like those things, unfortunately, just the nature of things like a lot of meme coins and a lot of just random altcoins that they're here today and gone tomorrow. A lot of people put focus on that. A lot of people will share that, and it'll kind of hurt their credibility from a personal perspective. If you go and you tell someone, hey, you should buy this coin, and next day it's just like it's been dumped and crashed, and it's like, hey, well, you should have known better before inviting your friend or family to get into the space because you gave them a bad introduction to the space. So it comes with a responsibility for all of us, and it comes with helping people get away from this low attention span, this short attention span attitude towards the space, and more into the depth of what everything can do. For example, if people look deeply into OSIS, they'll realize what we're doing, what we've spoken about in this call. But if everyone looks at things from a face value, they won't really understand anything. If we go into the details of it, one thing that we've created and we've been doing since 2021 and have continued to do and are actually building an entire course around is a part of our platform called OSIS University. Now, OSIS University started with weekly live streams for our community. We have over 100 hours of content that you can find on YouTube. It's all free, and it all dives into things like current events, current things happening in the market, questions from our community who are brand new. A lot of people don't really know anything about anything, and we help them navigate the space. From popular demand, we've decided to this summer release a full like university level course where you can go from beginner to advanced and learn about the Web3 space. You do quizzes, you do exams, and you actually get certificates issued on the blockchain, an NFT certificate with your name on it, issued by OSIS, and gives you as an individual or anybody else certification to say that, hey, you actually know your stuff. You know how it works, how tokenomics work, for example. You know how a project can begin and create in the space. So that is one big way that we're taking our responsibility in helping educate people, helping people get from the short attention span to the depth of blockchain and the Web3 industry. That is one of the tools and educational resources. Other tools being provided are everything that we're building. Everything from the OSIS tokenizer to OSIS Mail to OSIS Dashboard, which allows people to actually manage their assets, manage the things that they've created. It's like a creator dashboard. So rather than having to go to Polygon scan or any kind of blockchain scanner, they're able to do it directly from a native website and app. That's the reason why we're giving people NFT domains to help them go from being scared of these long hexadecimal Ethereum and Bitcoin addresses where nobody likes the way the hash looks, the 0x to all, this 16, 18 digit, 24 digit hash. It's scary to look at those things. So we're like, let's give everyone NFT domains. We have a partnership with Unstoppable Domains that allows us to issue a certain amount of free ones. We've given out like hundreds of free NFT domains and registered them for our user base. We also have access to custom ones where you can create your own through our platform. This is going to be released in the future with the OSIS Exchange and OSIS Core and OSIS Profile. So I've named several different products. All of them are focused on helping people come into the space in a smoother way, bringing up about a smoother transition. It's incentivized by the fact that people can make money and create in the space as well, but also to build a community and build people around their project globally.
All right, thank you for addressing the skepticism surrounding the crypto space and also emphasizing our collective responsibility to foster a more understanding and transparent environment. And I do agree with you. And it's actually refreshing to see a platform not just focusing on the technical possibilities of blockchain, but also on educating and equipping its users for a seamless transition. And also, I do strongly believe the emphasis on user-friendly tools like the OSIS tokenizer and the comprehensive learning path offered through OSIS University really highlights your commitment to community empowerment.
All right, moving on to the next question. How does OSIS plan to maintain a decentralized social exchange that runs on community voting and also influence? And what advantages does this offer to the users?
Great question. The OSIS Exchange. The OSIS Exchange is actually a very central pillar of what we're creating. So we've already created a tokenizer, and we've given creators the ability to quickly and easily create in the space, but where do they live? Where can they build? Where can they grow? And that place is the OSIS Exchange. It is decentralized, and I'm glad that you mentioned the social part of it. I know we had, of course, you guys looked deeply into our project before working with us. What I want to introduce to everyone is the fact that the OSIS Exchange is actually very different from every other exchange that people have used. How many people here, raise your hand even though I can't see it, how many people here have used or use Reddit? And how does everyone like it? it is a rhetorical question because I'm the only one speaking, but for those of you thinking in your head, uh, Reddit is famous for the fact that it is like a truly open, free speech community where people can discuss and people can find like the most honest, real reviews and discussion about any subject, any topic, and it's communities of people who come together around a specific topic. Now, we have built this same concept. We are building this same concept into our exchange. The reason being is because that the same reason of what we spoke about in the last point. People have a very short attention span. People really don't understand. People really don't understand the space. They don't understand the projects that they're getting into. And in order to do the research necessary for someone to really understand and be informed before they make a decision to invest or participate in a project, no matter what project that is, they have to be able to access the resources and the research. And so we're like, okay, let's take it from, let's take the information of a project the same way Kommunitas puts it all on one page. Let's put it in our exchange so that everyone can see the fundamentals of whatever currency. They can see the fundamentals of OSIS, they can see the fundamentals of XRP, they can see the fundamentals of all these things and make a decision there, but they can also talk about it. They can have a community discussion around each project and each currency, each token, each NFT. Everything that's going on is social, and users are actually voting. The same way you get an upvote and a downvote in Reddit is the same way that you would get an upvote and a downvote on a project that wants to be listed. It is using the OSIS currency, it is using the MetaBadge NFT in order to do this. It's kind of like a they're like a governance token on the platform, but the users and the people control what comes on and what comes off, because you can delist. Users can delist stuff as well. The voting power allows people as a whole to be able to police and to protect each other. For example, if someone is like, hey, you know what? I see something here that's fishy. I see something here that's not transparent with a certain project coming in. This project looks like they're setting up to do a rug pull on the community, for example, because anybody can create in the Web3 space, and that makes it all the more dangerous and all the more scary for new people that are coming into the space. But if a new person has access to a community of people who are clearly know what they're doing, and they're able to discuss and look through the analysis from other people that are not just like maximalists that don't care and just, you know, some people in the space are just like crypto bros that shill you this and that. If you join a community that has real people who are transparently like, okay, these are the good parts and these are the bad parts of this project that you're looking at right now, you can come to a decision much more easily and informed. That is the power in bringing people together. Right now, things are broken apart. CoinMarketCap honestly does a good job at this, where they have some kind of a feed and a comment section, but you can't really trade in CoinMarketCap. You can in the OSIS Exchange in 2025. You'll be able to trade, you'll be able to discuss, you'll be able to strategize with people in the space, and you'll be able to use your voting power to remove things that are harming the community, that are harming the exchange, that are harming anybody. So it's a very empowering thing, and I believe that giving people the power to be the ones that either list or delist, have the choice to either fund or really defund a project is very powerful. And that, I would say, is how we are creating and giving the advantage to users on the OSIS Exchange. Part of the voting process is similar to how people are voting here in Kommunitas for projects that are like pre-listing, for example, OSIS. Kommunitas does a great thing by allowing people to stake and vote and participate in like a private sale before listing. We're having that same functionality in the OSIS Exchange as well. So people can get their research done, understand the project, be in consensus with the community, and when they vote for something to get listed, they will be the first ones that are able to buy into a project before it gets officially publicly launched on the OSIS Exchange. So you've got a social media platform, you've got a community building platform, you've got a research platform, and you have a trading platform all in one. And it is decentralized, so OSIS is not holding anybody's money ever. So it is fully legal to operate in every country in the world, just like using Uniswap is.
All right, so thank you so much. I believe understanding OSI's commitment to a decentralized social exchange truly underscores the power and also importance of community in shaping the platforms. On the other hand, the use of meta-based NFTs for voting is an innovative approach that seems to ensure transparency and also fairness while giving users a tangible stake in the ecosystem's futures. And also, it's encouraging to see platforms prioritize users' input and also community governance so highly. And moving on to our last questions. What sets OSIS apart from its competitors in terms of team and founders' involvement, community-first focus, and patented technology?
I love the question. I love the question. OSIS's founders, you can find us anywhere online. You can Google my name, you can Google Chris's name. Since day one, we've been very, very public facing and very intimate with our community. I think the first thing that sets us apart from literally every other project is the fact that this company and project has a face. This community has a face. And whether you want to choose my face or most likely Chris's face, if any of you have seen the Picture This video, it's one of our most viral videos that we posted. But we have a face. We have, like, we're humans, we're people. You can contact anybody in our community of our 50,000+ people can hit me up anytime. They can contact me and speak with me and connect with me anytime, the same way they can connect with other members of the team. I see Gordon throwing up 100 signs here, and it's because I spoke with Gordon just yesterday. And he's one of our trusted archangels. We call our community members archangels. So a huge thing that sets us apart from a community perspective is the fact that we are personal with our community. We actively participate. I don't care how big or how crazy the community gets in the future. I believe that we'll have millions and millions of users and community members one day. It doesn't make a difference in my involvement. I will be right there with them and helping people to the best of my ability on a day-to-day basis, day in and day out. The same goes for everyone else in the team. So our community knows us. They know our story. They know our background. They know who I am. They've known me because I put my face on the camera every single week. And in the past month, almost every single day, I'm here with them. I'm answering all their questions with full transparency and walking them through this process during the ups and the downs. We went through a really difficult bear market. Everyone experienced that. And a lot of our competitors, a lot of other projects dropped off the face of the earth. They disappeared. A lot of them didn't have their faces on their project. But we have been here the entire time, even when things were bad, through thick and thin, how they say that with our community. So from a community perspective, that's how I believe that we differentiate ourselves as team and founders. From another perspective, actually the entire team is very public in the sense that we're all public figures too. I introduced and I mentioned Len Nicholson earlier. You guys can Google him. You can Google Chris Goma. You can Google Jalal Ibrahimi. You can even Google Vanessa or Luigi. Every one of us has a public presence where we've given interviews. I've been on stage in front of tens of thousands of people at conferences. Chris is actually his background is music and legal as well. He was in law as well, but he is like a semi-celebrity in different parts of the world. So nobody is here trying to hide or act different or be cool or be a degen, or no one here in our team is trying to be anything other than what they are, because we're confident in our knowledge and our ability as professionals. So we lead with our faces and being loud and proud with the project everywhere we go. Where someone might have a funny NFT as their picture, I have my headshot, my professional headshot from, I don't know which conference it was that I took the photo, but it was from a conference. We're out here, we're public, we're going from conference to conference. We do our best to be as transparent and public facing as possible and as relatable as possible. Now, in terms of technology, we have a patent pending, our tokenizer is patent pending. Our other technology, like we said earlier, is very heavily design focused and user experience focused. So in that sense, I believe we differentiate each other because of the ease of use and the user focus that we're putting into this. We're trying to make Web3 Web2, essentially. We're trying to make it as easy and brainless as Web2.
Okay, so it's very incredibly enlightening to learn about the foundational pillars that set OSIS apart from its competitors. And also the active involvement of the team and founders not only instills confidence, but also underscores a genuine commitment to fostering a platform that truly resonates with its community needs and aspirations. Additionally, the mention of the patented technology piques interest in the innovative ways OSIS is simplifying and securing the tokenization process. This blend of visionary leadership, community engagement, and technological advancement paints a promising picture for OSIS' future. Okay, so a friendly reminder to our audience. Don't forget to join the IKO sale of OSIS on 18th of March at 9 a.m. UTC by visiting Kommunitas Launchpad.
Make sure yourself get whitelist spot or not. You can stake your common token and participate during OSIS sale on Kommunitas Launchpad platforms. All right, thank you so much, Joel, for your invaluable insight. As we prepare for the upcoming session, our audience is eager to ask you some questions. We have suggested 10 questions, but if that seems too extensive to you, we are open to narrowing it down to just 5 questions. So which one do you prefer? Taking 10 questions from the audience or only 5 questions?
Let's do 10. I want to maximize our session and clear up as many people's questions and curiosity as possible.
All right, then. So a friendly reminder to our audience, kindly ensure your questions are concise and directly related to the topic. I will say, Joel, do you want to pick the winner by yourself, or do you want me and Clara help you picking up them?
I'd love your help, Clara.
All right, then.
Yep.
All right, so everyone, as usual, I will scroll down the request, so everyone will have the equal opportunities. So for the first one, let's pick Miguel. Miguel with Twitter handle. Okay, still connecting to the server. Hello, Calvin or Miguel. Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, you are audible.
Okay, my question is, how does your OSIS project contribute to the rapid scaling and deep liquidity of the on-asset markets?
Sorry, could you repeat that, please? How does the OSIS token contribute to the, what was it?
How does your OSIS project contribute to the rapid scaling and deep liquidity of the on-asset markets?
So how does the OSIS project contribute to the repeat
scaling and deep liquidity of the on-asset markets?
So deep liquidity and the ownership markets. Got it. Got it. Okay. So from what I understand from Kelvin's question here, he is asking, how does OSIS contribute to the repeat scaling of what I imagine is the entire tokenized space? Because I feel like at this early stage of the entire industry being a little over $2.5 trillion, that I feel like honestly no project in the blockchain space is truly competitors with each other, because we are all working towards growing this space, like you said, repeat scaling the space to what it can become. Currently, traditional asset markets are over $90 trillion. The tokenized space is actually projected to be over I believe, 30 trillion in the next, I'm not sure if it's 7 years or 10 years, but 30 trillion plus in the tokenized market space. Now, one way that we're contributing to the repeat scaling of this entire industry, like not just Bitcoin or something specific, but the entire industry is our contribution from the technological side of creating the OSIS tokenizer so that anybody can take their business and their idea, whether it's a product or a service, or it's a real world asset, and they can bring it into the Web3 space, immediately creating, immediately adding to the market capitalization of the space. I believe that that's one big way that we're contributing to the space. For OSIS itself, OSIS creating an exchange and hosting all of these different projects, all of these tokenized projects that, otherwise without this technology would never have made it into the space. I believe that the exchange is also giving people a very simple and natural and easy way to transition their business from what it is in Web 2 into what it could be in Web 3, and allow anybody worldwide to participate in that. One way that I can tell you personally we're working on this right now is our team and our new Chief Strategy Officer, Len Nicholson, are speaking to a lot of big brands, like age-old brands that in the Web 2 industry, they're already in the billions and billions of dollars. We're talking with them on ways that they can come into the Web3 space, that they can bring their brand equity and their value into the Web3 space. And a move just like that, like just one thing coming into the space. For example, when Starbucks created their Matic-based NFTs, there was a lot of people coming into the space, a lot of interest, a lot of growth in the entire industry, because someone like Starbucks, which has a lot of brand equity and a lot of people following it, Starbucks tokenized. So we're looking at it at the same way. We are actively, from a business development standpoint, working with and trying to attract big companies to bring what they already have, which is very successful in the Web 2 space and Web 1, into the Web 3 space.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Calvin, for your question. Now let's move on to the second one. For the next one, let's invite Lori with Twitter handle at KFC1076. Still connecting to the server. Let's give him or her a moment before joining our stage. All right, it takes longer than expected. Now, probably we may invite someone else. Let's invite Steven. Steven with Twitter handle at dboxhoney. Hello, Steven. Hello, Steven. You are still on mute.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, thank you. So my question is, non-crypto user is very important for mainstream adoption. How you are planning to attract non-crypto users towards your projects? Is there any upcoming partnership that will bring non-crypto user and real use case?
Yes, great question, Stephen. This is something that we spoke about a little bit earlier. Now, let's talk about the tokenizer. What do you think would happen when everyone in the world, businesses and individuals, what could you imagine happening if all of these people were given an application that allowed them to easily tokenize and bring their business onto the Web3 space? What do you think would be the social effects of that? Now, I feel like Stephen is still muted, so that's fine. we're setting the stage and building the infrastructure for this reality to be something. Right now, there are only a few thousand truly substantial projects in the Web3 space. There are millions and millions to millions of businesses all around the world that could very well be in the Web3 space, but they simply don't have the access or the know-how. They don't know what is going on here. And so one of our biggest missions is to bring that awareness to people and give them the tool. So that is what OSIS is heavily focused on. We're giving people the keys to bring themselves into the space. That answers the previous question and this one. I see Felix is raising their hand like crazy. And who else?
Yes. All right, Stephen, I hope that will answer your question. Now let's move on to the next question. Let's invite Felix with Twitter handle at Anthony the Great. Still connecting to the server. Hello.
Yeah, thank you for bringing me up. My question is, from when I read the website and all, I can see that there is a kind of, we are offering a kind of Web3 domain, and those people can even earn ads revenue from it. So I just want to ask, looking at your project, can you give us an explanation on how we are going to make and how you're going to generate revenue for this project, and even how you are even going to pay this ads revenue? I just want you to walk us in how exactly are you going to generate revenue that will be enough to, push the project and also be able to reward people on the project. And also in terms of creating your NFTs, creating the NFTs. If I create an NFT, is the project, do you have claim to part of the supply of my NFT, and how exactly do you promote people that create NFTs using your project? Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Felix, for the questions. I'm going to break those questions down real quick. Just allow me to break them down. So one of the questions, I'll go backwards. One of the questions was, when you create NFTs using OSIS technology, does OSIS have any claim on the supply of your project? The answer is no. It is an entirely decentralized application that you are using when you use the OSIS tokenizer. So it is, the entire process is going through your wallet, actually. And it actually does not have any connection with OSIS beyond the fact that the tool is there for you to use. So it's almost like you walk into an art studio and you are the one that picks up the tools and creates the thing, and you take it away. You take it out with you when you leave the art studio, for example, like your painting. It is yours. A lot of other companies, for example, if you mint on OpenSea, you're creating your NFT within their smart contracts. So it's not really truly yours. But when you create an NFT collection or a currency using the OSIS tokenizer, it is 100% yours. We have absolutely zero claim, zero anything to do with it. So that's part of like one reason why we call ourselves a DSO, decentralized sovereign organization, and it's because we believe in sovereignty and individuals having like their freedom and full control over their assets, over their life, over their data and their privacy. And that takes us to the next question. You asked about how can OSIS pay out ad revenue to people, and the how actually comes into the fact that when you're using our applications, you are your own person. You are the sovereign person. You are the owner of your data. How much do you guys think that Google makes from analyzing your data? Or how much do you guys think that Facebook makes in terms of revenue from monetizing your data? Well, those are two of the largest companies in the world, and both of them are like more than 80% of their income is from monetizing your data. A lot of people don't recognize just how valuable they are to the platforms that they involve themselves with. And I always like to point to the fact that there would be no such thing as a Fortune 500 company. There would be no such thing as a successful company without the users and the people that make up its community and its customer base. So in Web 2, we have a relationship with platforms, especially advertising companies, where you are the product. They just take your data and take your information and they sell it to random people. Now, OSIS will not do that. We will not just take your data without your permission. If you, for example, as an OSIS user, you're using OSIS Mail, if you want to sell your data and be open to ads, then we as a platform are making a partnership with you. That's the way that we look at our users in our community. It's a partnership. We're all business partners. We believe that every person should have the right to that. It's like your information. Yes, you get to use the platform, but what's more than that is, hey, if you want to, run a business with us, we're going to have ads on this platform. If you permit ads and you permit us to monetize you as a customer, for example, here's an easy example. You use OSIS Mail. You are one of our users. Someone like someone like NordVPN or some kind of VPN company is contacting us and they're like, hey, OSIS, we love your user base. You have an excellent user base and they're all very privacy focused and very technically advanced. We want to offer them a deal on our VPN service. How can we do that? Well, we would be like, okay, well, we can allow you to send it in a direct email to our customers, to our user base, our community in OSIS Mail. Now, if you as an individual with OSIS Mail decides to accept and allow ads for yourself, then you would be getting a portion of the ad revenue. Whatever they're spending with OSIS, we're going to send a portion of that back to all of our user base. I want that to be the reality. I'm seeing Felix is clapping. I agree. We want to start this kind of reality. I saw several other companies start to do this kind of relationship with their user base. I want this to be the reality in every single platform on the web where it's a circular economy, because you as a user are contributing to their platform. You're the only reason they can make ad revenue in the first place. So why shouldn't you get some part of it? Like the amount of ads that you get peppered with on these different platforms, especially social medias, it's insane. It's a lot of ads. It's too many ads. If anything, it takes away from your experience. So at the very least, I believe that every platform should give the option for users to also benefit from that beyond just, okay, you can use my app for free. It's like, no, you can get paid to use this app. Even more incentive for people to use it. I hope that answered your question, Felix.
Yeah, it was a very, very beautiful answer. Thank you so much.
I appreciate you for asking it. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Felix, for your question, and also Jalal for your answer. Now let's move on to the fourth question. Now, Alita Priest with Twitter handle at silent_killer_B.
Me?
Yes, you are audible.
My question, what is your project mission and vision?
Thank you for asking, Alita, and pleasure to meet you. What is OSIS's vision and mission? Well, on our website, it says that we want to build a free global economy. What does that look like? Guys, can anyone here imagine what that looks like? What does a free global economy look like? Well, one thing is something that Bitcoin inspired. And Bitcoin said, hey, right now, we don't have any control over our money system, our money supply. It's all controlled by centralized banks all over the world. And you know what, for example, your currency in your home country, it doesn't work in another country. And so there's this big disconnect in the whole world. And furthermore, I saw a really funny meme the other day, and it was talking about the US dollar. And when you look at the US dollar for the numbers, it looks like an absolute shitcoin. Like the supply has been printed, like the supply has increased by like 20% year over year. And if you looked at any blockchain project and they did that, the entire world would come down on them like, okay, that is a scam. Do not use that currency. Do not mess with that project. But hey, we're talking about a central bank currency at this point. We're talking about a fiat currency, and it's like, hey, all fiat currencies are like that. And it does not benefit the people when their currency is being devalued. Every hour that you put into work and you get paid an hourly salary, it's like, hey, your salary last year is literally worth 20% less this year, and the prices of everything are going up by 20% too. So we are living in a quite an interesting time. It's a bit of a conundrum when you look at it like that. But Bitcoin was like, hey, we need to do something about that. We need to have something that we as people have that is separate from everything else. And so I love that vision, and that's something that OSIS also aligns with, where we want to create a free global economy where everyone can internationally transact and do business, right? Any business that, for example, when the world went from Web 1 to Web 2, everything went so much bigger because now suddenly businesses online can actually service customers globally, internationally, when before they could only service their city or their country, and they were locked into borders. Now we want to enable that same upgrade of going from Web 1 to Web 2, from Web 2 to Web 3, where people can now build businesses online and have community members and participants all around the world, and currency not be an issue. You could use OSIS to trade. You can use Bitcoin to trade. You could use any currency to trade. It doesn't matter. Anything Web3 to trade. We want to see our vision, if you put it into numbers, we want to tokenize more than 1 million businesses in the next decade, more than 1 million projects, and bring them into the Web3 space. We want to see the entire world shift towards being way more sovereign. Like in the last question, hey, we believe that every person using a platform should be compensated in one way or another for their data. We want more people to have more control over their financial future and ultimately their freedom as a result. And that begins with giving people the tools, the knowledge, the guidance and inspiration to do these kinds of things, to make these kinds of moves, because it's going to take people. The same way every big company in the world, every powerful corporation in the world is only powerful because of their customers and the people that support them. The same way we need to empower each other's businesses and force these bigger companies and bigger entities to also work with us on that, in that hand. Stop looking at us like the product. The citizens are not the product. We should be partners in every case, in every scenario. We should be respected like partners, and we should have the freedom of choice and freedom of like financial freedom. So I hope that answered the question, Alida.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so much, Alita. Now let's move on to the next question. Next one, we will invite Ilham Hoki. Yes, still connecting to the server. Hello, Ilham.
Hello.
Yes, hello.
My
You are
question.
audible.
Yes. My question is, what is your goal or top priorities in 2024? Thank you.
Fantastic question. Thank you so much for the question, Ilham. What are our top priorities in 2024? 2024 for us is a development year. We have several products and parts of our project that are in the roadmap for this next 365 days that are going to be a huge game changer and bring this vision that we want to create. It'll bring it into reality. We need to create the code and the tools for people to use. The first step, which is coming out very soon, is OSIS Mail and OSIS Vault. So like a Web3 email platform, and OSIS Vault being a Web3 cloud storage platform. This is like the next step. This is Q2. This is upcoming in the next couple months. We are developing and releasing this. After that, we will be releasing OSIS Profile, which is like a Web3 profile for people to identify themselves if they wish in the Web3 space in our ecosystem, and it connects with their MetaBadge NFTs and all kinds of other things. This OSIS Profile is also the way that we can help people do revenue share and monetize their data on our ecosystem. We want to develop that. OSIS Mail is one of the first platforms that will allow people in our community to be able to monetize their information. So OSIS Profile has to come out with that as well later on this year for that to be the case, for us to roll out that use case scenario and that benefit to our community. Next, we have the OSIS Exchange, and after that, the OSIS Wallet. We call it OSIS Core. So these two are also really big projects. They've both already been started, so the code is coming. It's coming along its way, but creating something from nothing, especially from a code perspective, especially if you're as design focused and user experience obsessed as us, it takes time and it takes resources. And so that is our focus in the next year. We want to build these things out and give them to people. We've always been product focused and product first with our community. And yeah, so that is the primary focus. I hope that answered your question.
Thank you.
Bring more value to our community. That's, in a few words, that's what we want to do in 2024.
All right, thank you so much for the question, Ilham. Now let's move on to the next one. For the next, we will invite Spark with Twitter handle. Okay, all right. He cannot join at the moment. All right, let's invite someone else. Let's invite Nord with Twitter handle at Fleming Pot. Still connecting to the server. Hello, Nord.
Can you hear me?
Yes, you are audible.
All right, great. So about the tokenization of assets on your platform. So I would love to know if would there be any fractionalization, that is, if multiple persons are to own a single asset, do you probably give them an NFT, like a fractionalized NFT?
Interesting question, North. Very interesting question. So fractionalization, for those of you who may not understand exactly what he's asking, from what I understand, and North, you can correct me if I'm wrong. You said, is there the possibility for you to create a fractionalized asset with the OSIS tokenizer, create an NFT that can be owned by multiple people, or create something that can be owned by multiple people? Is that the question?
Definitely. Maybe multiple people that actually own a single asset per se.
Very interesting. So inherently, a non-fungible token, an NFT, can like the standard NFT can only be owned by one person because it is a unique asset. It's the same thing as like, I'm holding an apple, you're not holding this apple, I'm holding the apple. So the question here is there a technology that allows multiple people to own one asset? There is an approach that you can take that I can answer yes. If you were to create an NFT project, whether it's ERC 721 or ERC 1155, those are just fancy technical words to say two different types of NFT projects. If you create an NFT, you can also, right after launch a currency, an ERC20 token that is directly linked to this NFT. So for example, there has been a few, what are those things called? The apes? Have been a few Bored Apes that have been fractionalized, like you're talking about, in the world. And the way that they fractionalized the ownership of this Bored Ape is they basically looked at it and said, okay, this Bored Ape is worth like $200,000, but we want to allow hundreds of people to own a piece of it. So then they actually created an ERC20 token, like a currency type token that was directly connected to the ownership of the NFT. So that is one approach that you could take and that you can actually take today using the OSIS tokenizer. But in terms of creating a single NFT that like multiple people can own, that is not a direct native feature of NFTs. Thank you for the question.
Really, really brilliant. Yeah, I love the fact that you could actually see from my perspective. I mean, that's really, really exciting. So I guess you guys will do something about that. Thank you, Clara.
Thank you, North. I appreciate the feedback. I really appreciate the feedback. It would be nice to have other speakers also give their little bit of feedback too. But okay, we can move on.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much, Nord, for your question. Now let's move on to the next question. We will invite Pikachu with Twitter handle.
Pikachu.
Yes. X of Web 31. Hello, Pikachu. Hello, you are still on mute.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, my question is, as a multi-chain liquidity protocol, how does your OSIS plans to solve the issue of liquidity fragmentation across different blockchain? Yeah, this is my question.
So how does OSIS plan to solve the liquidity problem across, or this segmentation across the entire blockchain? That's an interesting question. It's funny to me actually that you asked that question. It's really funny that you asked that question because nowhere in our documentation or anywhere on our website or anything have we mentioned that we are trying to solve that problem. But the reason I'm laughing is because we are looking at that and actually discussing different ways that we can solve it today. So it's interesting that you asked that question. And for those of you who don't understand Pikachu's question exactly, it is a technical one. He basically said, how is OSIS, what is our approach to solving this problem in which right now there are many exchanges and each exchange has its own liquidity pool. By liquidity pool, it means that each exchange has its own certain amount of each token that they can trade. So for example, if you wanted to go and buy Bitcoin, if you wanted to buy $1 million of Bitcoin on, I don't know, random exchange, one of your favorite exchanges, there's like an 80% chance they just don't have that Bitcoin on hand. They just don't have it in their pools. And so you would have to go to another one and another one and another one, and eventually maybe after trying 5 of them, you could buy all $1 million of Bitcoin. This issue is actually even bigger for smaller tokens, smaller projects, altcoins. For example, people who currently hold many meme coins, there's not enough liquidity for them to cash out all of their profits. So realistically, and people don't think about this too hard, but they should. Realistically, their profits are all on paper and they're not going to be able to pull them out in full because there's just not enough liquidity where they're trading. A person would have to go to like 10 different stores, to 10 different venues, 10 different exchanges in order to liquidate or to exchange what they have, because the supply is just fragmented all over the place. It is a very big issue in the Web3 space, especially for professional investors. I got on a phone call, a really good call, and we're onboarding them as a partner with a company called Yellow Network. You guys may have heard of them as Yellow Capital. They are an active venture firm. They're an investment firm in the Web3 space. They've invested in a lot of projects. They are a publicly traded company too. They've created something called Yellow Network, and we're working with them on essentially creating a network of exchanges. We're listing with them in this exchange. They're creating a decentralized exchange that is basically connecting all the different liquidity providers, exchanges, decentralized exchanges, and centralized, connecting them all into one platform. So when you trade, for example, you want the $1 million of Bitcoin I mentioned, it would pull from everyone that has an available liquidity pool. It would pull from all the different things into one place. And we're proud to be actually one of the first 10 projects that is listing with Yellow Network in the next, I believe, 1 month or 2 months. We're going to be one of the first 10 projects, so I'm really excited for that partnership because they're doing something amazing when it comes to solving that specific problem. OSIS Exchange will be integrated with their platform as well, so that we would be from an exchange perspective, our exchange would be able to pull liquidity from every other exchange that's in the network. And when projects get listed with Yellow Network, they would be listed across hundreds of exchanges at the same time too. So we're essentially using that and leveraging that partnership to tackle this liquidity issue, the segmentation issue, by unifying it. And we're also building that into our project from our exchange perspective, and also for our token being in their network and ecosystem. So I hope that answers your question, Pikachu. Let me know.
Yeah, thank you very much for answering my question.
My pleasure. I hope it was clear for everyone else too, because that was a real technical question.
All right, thank you so much, Pikachu, for your question. Now we will move on to the next question. Let's invite Semi with. Okay, Semi, are you able to speak now? Hello, Semi. You are still on mute.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
A little bit, very quietly though.
Yeah, I think your microphone quite far.
My question is, how do you plan to improve your project fast? And do you have any strategy to attract new investors to your project and keep them for a long time?
Okay, thank you for the question, Sammy. You're asking, how do we improve our project fast, and how are we planning to attract new investors? Is that the question? I think it is a question. Okay, that one was pretty clear. I just wanted to repeat it because your voice was a little bit distant. So how are we planning to improve the project fast? That's a great question. Well, speed. So a lot of people have a short attention span today, and speed is something that everyone is obsessed with. They're seeing all these things explode on socials, especially like the meme coins. They've kind of set the standard for this, for especially new people coming into the space. They see that meme coin A or meme coin B overnight went from 0 to 10x. A lot of people are expecting that kind of action from everybody. And it's interesting because sure, we can have that kind of action if you know, all we did was focus on hype and pump rather than, you know, real development and real like real value and real products and things like that. But there is a balance that we have to also find in the middle. So we have plans to launch a very big marketing campaign to bring a lot more people to look at OSIS and participate in OSIS with our listings. Bitmart is our first listing. We're planning to list on MEXC second, and we're also speaking with BitGet and Gate.io. For these bigger exchanges and bigger listings, we have a marketing budget put towards, we have a whole marketing team and marketing plan for all of these things. So that is one way that we're going to be growing fast from a public perspective, from a market perspective. From an internal perspective, one way that we can grow fast is the fact that we are going to be hiring over the next few months, bringing new developers onto the team and into the company, because it does take a lot of manpower and a lot of intelligence. I want to say intelligence, preparation, architecture, and execution to build what we're building. The only way to speed it up is to bring more people into the space. And that is the main reason we're going public. We're like, hey, let's get out into the world. Let's build up even stronger credibility, because anytime a project is public, it does upgrade its credibility, because there's a certain attraction to public companies. I'm talking from a traditional perspective, so that we can attract the talent to come here and help us build these products even more quickly. But good things take time. That's something that I want to emphasize with everyone in this market, everyone that's really caught up in the hype and in the craze. Believe me, I've been there before too. In 2017, especially, where I saw the market explode and crash just as fast. The same thing will happen in this market. It will explode, and all of these random meme coins and altcoins will crash just as fast. Don't let that sour anyone's experience, though. Realize that there are some projects in this industry, a lot of them actually, that are building real things that take time, that take time and effort, and like a full community approach to building that. It takes everyone to build something great and make a huge change and impact in the world and in the space. So that being said, the fact that we are building like real patentable technology is one reason why a lot of investors are interested and speaking with us and really just pushing these things out and getting the user base and activity, showing the data, showing the analytics of, hey, this is our user count, this is our customer acquisition cost versus the revenue that comes into this. We're looking at it from my lens of view, where I'm coming from traditional industry, from banking, from financial technology industry into the Web3 space. What a lot of other companies are not doing is looking at it from that perspective of, okay, we're building a real legitimate business with strong fundamentals, strong revenue streams that take into account whether the market is up or down. It does not matter to us. We're not building around the market. We're not dependent on the market being up or down, because we're building products that our people will use every single day, regardless of market conditions. So that is something that's very attractive to investors when they come in, especially the VCs and private investors that are looking into the project. So we plan to attract a lot of everything through our marketing campaigns, through us being more public, being publicly listed. Once we have that attention, we're able to keep them and make them stay and focus with the technology, with the team, and with the things that we're rolling out. And honestly, the culture too. I'll say the culture here, someone said it in earlier in our community, and they're like, hey, y'all, we're like friends. Like, we've built a friendly place, a safe space for people, and the founders are like most of my community is my friend. I feel like a friendship with them. So that's why I say the culture really helps people stay and helps people invest too. Does that answer your question, Sammy? I think he's on mute.
Okay, I think, yes. So I think we take that as a yes.
Sure.
All right. So that concludes the Q&A session for today.
Great.
And also we would like to express our heartfelt gratitude to Joel for sharing his invaluable insights today, as well as our wonderful audience for engaging deeply with OSIS and actively participating in our community. So congratulations to the winners of the AMA. We'll be in touch shortly to organize your well-deserved rewards.
Yes, before we wrap up our session, do you have something to share with us, Jalal?
Well, first of all, I would like to say thank you so much for having us on, for hosting us, and for this collaboration. We're very, very excited for the future. We appreciate your community for all of these great questions that they brought to us today, that they brought for me today. So I'm very grateful for the opportunity. I'm very grateful for the partnership that we have here. I'm looking forward to what comes in the future. I believe that, and I've seen that this right here, this is the greatest wealth transfer in human history, what we're going to see over the next several years with this whole world being tokenized. And I'm proud and I'm honored to be experiencing that with all of you, with everyone that's a part of the Web3 community. Even if you're not necessarily in OSIS, it's okay. I still feel like all of you are a part of the community, because we're here early and we're here and we're all going to win. That's, what do they say, WAGMI, we're all going to make it. That's how I feel, and I'm proud of everyone that's in this session right now, that's devoting time to educate themselves, to participate in the space. No matter how small your participation is, it's very important for the space in general. If I'm speaking as a representative of the blockchain space and the Web3 space, thank you to everyone listening. Thank you for everyone sharing Web3 in an honest, transparent way, helping educate others. I hope that we, OSIS as a project, can also help you do that with your communities and everyone that you're speaking to and sharing the word, spreading the word. And on top of this, I would like to also add that OSIS is listing on March 21st with Bitmart. We also plan to list, we're coordinating this, but we plan to list within the next month right after that. and again the next month right after that. So we want everyone here and everyone in our communities to be able to grow together with these listings, going from one space to the next exchange, so that we can all, like I said, grow together, be together, and build together. So thank you again. I appreciate you. Thank you for having me on, and I wish everyone a wonderful Saturday and a wonderful weekend. Thanks so much.
All right, thank you so much, Jalal. If you have any further questions or would like to learn more about OSIS, please feel free to follow them on Twitter or visit their official website. Stay tuned for features, events, and updates. That is the end of our X-Space AMA today. Thank you so much, Jalal, for taking the time to share your thought with us. We wish you and the entire OSIS team continued success in the future. Thank you all for joining us and participating in this very insightful conversation. Until next time, take care and have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. Bye. Woo! Exhale. There we go. Wow, Henrik, I wish you like raised your hand inside of the AMA, because I saw you in there. If you had raised your hand, I would have picked you, man. I looked at you too, and you didn't have your hand up, and I was like, so I don't see anyone from the OSIS community, and I wanted to let one of y'all answer a question at least. But that's a great question. What have been your proudest moments with OSIS? Are there any plans for meta badges? Yeah, you were in both spaces. That's great. Were there any plans with meta badges to have more utility than what they have currently? Juan said I like prizes, but yeah, yeah, Caesar, that's fine if you were just here. We broadcasted it on everything. I'm on IG as well. What's up, IG? We just finished the whole session. There's a bunch of you there. There's a bunch of people on the different platforms, YouTube as well, on Twitter, 20 of y'all. So cool. What's going on, everybody on Twitter? We just wrapped up the Kommunitas AMA session. That was a lot of fun. I think at one point there was like 2,100 people in there, and it was pretty cool. Pretty cool. A lot of fun too. I didn't know if I was like, I didn't actually know what they were going to ask me. So I was like, okay, let's see what they ask. But they actually did a great job. That's a good interview because they made sure one question led to the next question, led to the next question. So it wasn't random. There was a very natural flow. Thanks, Jacob. Jacob says very informative. You did well. Thank you so much. I hope I did well. I hope I lit a fire in everyone. I have a feeling we're going to have a lot of new OSIS community members very soon. They're probably going to start in Twitter because they just saw us there. But I think some of them will flow into the Discord. So I'm counting on all of y'all, all of you, to help these new people come into the community, feel a warm welcome culture, because we have a culture like no other, and I'm proud of that. That's one of my proudest things. Henrik was asking. I'm proud that we were able to create, us as a community, all of y'all, a cool space, a safe space, and one that's like, understanding. Everyone is a deep thinker here. Everyone's very thoughtful. You don't find that in a lot of spaces. Really, I've never seen it in any other space. People are actually like thinking and analyzing and looking deeper into everything. And that's cool for me because I can express something and everyone here is like, they look deeper into what I'm sharing. It's a beautiful thing. We have a great culture. We have a great community, and we're only going to grow from here. So everybody, let's add this. I revealed the big announcement. Excuse me. I revealed a big announcement here earlier on the call. It was very casual, but Lucien caught it. He said, where is it? Listing March 21st on Bitmart. That's the date. That is the date. So good catch, Lucien. I'm glad that you caught it. That is the confirmed date. We've locked it in. They're going to announce it on the 21st. On the 18th. So by Monday, you're going to see the official announced date. Now, we are taking a little bit of a different approach to this, a different strategy that's actually really, really big, and it's going to make everything even bigger. It's a strategy that's been inspired by several different companies, several different advisors that have launched in the space. And it's also a result of the fact that MEXC could not coordinate the same date with Bitmart. Even though we gave them a few weeks, it turned out that they're like, okay, we need more time. So then we were sitting here and we're like, okay, do we shift until April, or do we lock in with our community, trusting and having faith in our community to list on the 21st, to focus on that date, to list on the 21st, and maybe not list as loud and explosive as we initially planned, but to list on the 21st, to be out in the market and have trust and faith in our community, everyone here, everyone listening to this, to hold their thoughts, to focus with us, and to build the marketing plan and the development plan like this, okay? Get this picture. We're listed on the 21st, Bitmart. Bitmart has a great amount of users, but we've also learned that Bitmart does not have like a crazy amount of organic trades. So all of our advisors are like, hey, the moment you get on MEXC, that is where everything blows up. Every single dollar in marketing that you put in towards MEXC is going to bring back like triple the value in the project, in the price action, in the community that you're going to break in. MEXC is just so much bigger than Bitmart. So we're like, okay, let's work with our community strategically and do this. List and almost list like a soft launch. I'm calling it a soft launch because we're not shouting it at the rooftops like we would want to normally. Normally you'd shout everything, you get everyone to shout it at the rooftops that, hey, OSIS is listening on Bitmart, everyone go there. Unfortunately, Bitmart has like limitations, regional limitations, where people have to go in and do KYC, and a lot of people in the US especially are not able to access it. In Canada, you can't access Bitmart. There's a bunch of limitations, and it doesn't actually make for a great, it's not the best case scenario, even for our community, or well, it's okay for our community. Most of our community is in the permitted locations, but for us as a whole project, we want to be able to access like every trader everywhere in the world. So the strategy is soft launch Bitmart. Everyone holds and focuses. Within 3 to 4 weeks after that, we want to launch on MEXC. We're giving them the time and space to like get their stuff together, and then we're gonna set up a date, and then we're gonna go absolutely like everybody take your shirts off, stand on the rooftops and spin it and scream OSIS is listening. That is the strategy of, okay, first step, and then we get everyone hyped up from our community and the rest of the world. We're gonna be pushing some big campaigns, kind of like that one guy asked, and what we've been seeing a lot of projects do nowadays, newly listing projects that have like millions and millions of people show up. We want to go crazy for that second step and bring our community and other people to there. Other exchanges are still in the works. So here, listen to the strategy. So step 2 is major launch. So minor launch, Bitmart, major launch, MEXC, even bigger launch after that on a gate.io or a BitGet or on like OKX or one of these major tier 1 exchanges that have like 20+ million users. We want to go from one stage, okay, everyone together, let's all work together, get to the second exchange listing, and we're going to add tens of thousands of people along the way with the marketing. Once we're there, boom, everything goes up, everything is exploding. There's a lot of traction and attention and people actively trading. And then we say, hey, everybody, our next goal is gate in 1 month. Everyone, let's go. Like everyone walk together, march together. We're taking our whole community and we're grabbing every other person in the world onto gate. That is the next move. And then from gate, we're going to do this one place to the next place until we get to Binance, until we get to KuCoin, all of these other major exchanges, until OSIS is a multi-billion-dollar project where each time we take and we go from point A to grow to point B to point C all the way to Z. And it's going to be super exciting. Like the vision I see for that, and it takes all of us to do it together, is super exciting, bringing more people into the space and working together as a community and progressing as a community to the next goal and then to the next goal. And then by the time we're on like every stage, it's going to be absolutely insane for like everybody. Get in the car Oceans, we're going to Binance. Hey, we're going there. We are absolutely going there. And like I said, it takes a group effort. Anybody that goes and tries to sell at the first moment notice on Bitmart is basically a fool because if anybody that knows what the plan is and does it anyways, like, okay, sorry, not sorry, we can't help you there because you just lost yourself out on the whole path and journey that we could have all taken together. But of course, everyone will have the option and freedom to do as they wish on the 21st. So the airdrop will be before the 21st. The airdrop will be on the 21st, the same day as the listing, because you don't want to give the token to people before the 21st because people can run weird plays and do things with decentralized exchanges that you don't want to give people the access to. It's kind of the same idea of someone asked yesterday about vesting. They were like, is there token vesting? And I was like, well, there isn't a vesting on like existing archangels. But if anyone new comes into the project, like this week, for example, before the 18th, so the OSIS sales are closing on the 18th. For example, someone comes in today and buys 10,000 OSIS, or 100 people come and buy 10,000 OSIS. They didn't have time to get to know the project. A lot of them are probably here to just flip the coin and to like dump the market. We don't want to just give them everything to just go and be able to do that. That's irresponsible. That actually harms like the team and the project. Anyone that sells on the 21st is technically harming the project in the short run. In the big picture, it doesn't matter. But of course, we want to be as aesthetic and as optically good on the 21st as we want to be like in the beginning and in the end. We want to be good the whole way through. So that's why we have vesting for new people joining in, because we don't know what their intentions are. So we don't want to just give everybody the ability to go and dump their tokens. And they might be dumping it on our existing community that really does believe in follow the project. Sure, you can speculate on OSIS if you want. We can't control that. If it were up to me, every single person that comes into the project and holds OSIS, I would love for them to really look and read all the white paper and understand what we're doing in the long term, because what we're doing is not some like here today, gone tomorrow meme coin, altcoin that is doing two little things. It's like, hey, what we're doing, it takes years to accomplish a real social impact, to develop real patented technology. These things take time. I'm not going to gamble the project on some new people who came in who just want to flip a profit at the expense of our existing community. I refuse to do that. And that's the conversation that we had yesterday with another community member who was asking about the vesting. And I'm like, hey, your tokens, because you're an archangel, I trust you. I know that you're not just going to dump. Yours aren't locked up. There's no token lockup for you, but anyone new that, for example, you refer into the company, yep, they're going to be on lockup for 6 months. They get 20% released on the day that we list, sure, but it'll be slowly opened up, and that way we can stabilize the currency. We won't have anyone making crazy emotional like dumping decisions for whatever reason. Some people have their own personal stuff going on, but it's like, hey, like we want y'all to be in here for the long run. And this is a standard, this token lockup investing concept. It is a standard for every single project in the entire industry. For example, Kommunitas set up a vesting schedule for anyone in their community buying into OSIS on Monday. They're buying 300,000 OSIS. They set up a vesting schedule for their community to make sure that, and even if there are people who are speculative in their community who just want to buy it like a trader and flip it, they can't. They have to wait 6 months for the tokens to fully vest. And they get releases every single month so that it's like a small amount of time. But I'm like, I appreciate that. It is the industry standard. So we are following the industry standard. And the reason we're doing that is to protect the community and the price. But this is super exciting, said Juan. I mean, look at where we are now compared to a couple of years ago. It is wild. Imagine, 2 years ago, just an idea. Here we are today. We were patient. We didn't rush and do things at the FTX crashing and all that stuff, or listing in a bear market is insanity. We decided to wait. And do you guys remember? We talked about this over a year ago. We're like, we are expecting the bull market to come in spring 2024. We talked about this. I literally told y'all for anyone watching this, I know nobody here is a hater, but for all the haters who are like, why didn't you list during the crash? Why didn't you list during the FTX scandal? Why didn't you list during the bear market? It's like, because we knew that this was going to happen right now. It is the ultimate perfect time that we could be out public. And it takes patience, a lot of patience, take it from a founder perspective, because there was a lot of pressure from people who were just like trying to rush something, and very emotional because it was a bear market. It took a lot of patience from my side to hold strong and be like, no, for your own good, for your investment, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to rush based on someone's emotional response in a bear market. We told everybody it's going to be spring 2024 that things will be picking up and that we're looking to list. You can look at videos from like 1 year back and you'll see the exact same conversation, which is really, really funny. But yeah, that's cool. Some people are gonna like look at this video and be like, oh, really? And then they're gonna look back and be like, oh my God, the founders literally told everybody that exactly this. They were gonna do this, and they did exactly that 1 year later. We're not thinking in minutes and hours. We're not thinking in days or months. Our team is thinking in like decades. If you ask Chris how far ahead he's thought about OSIS and what it'll look like and exactly how to accomplish that, he will literally tell you decades. And he will break down, I'm telling you, year by year, Chris can tell you exactly what the strategy and plan is, who we need to speak to, how we need to build, when we need to get things out, and what the market will look like. It's like that. So I'm proud. I'm proud. Imagine 2 years from now. I have imagined it, and we have literally a step-by-step plan for 2 years from now. And it looks good. Just so y'all know, everyone here today, it looks pretty damn good 2 years from now. We are projecting an 12 to 18 month bull run. Why is it going to be an 18-month bull run though, right? That's a question a lot of people are thinking. Well, first of all, history has shown that the industry, the whole space, the markets move in like a repetitive way. History repeats itself. So we know from previously that it will be 12 to 18 months. What's more is the fact that currently in North America, and I believe in Europe as well, interest rates are at a record high. People don't actually have much capital to invest, including private investors and institutions. Right now, the institutions getting in, you can count them as like the 1% that actually have the capability of getting into the space, including people. Right now, there's not a lot of money in the economy. There's not a lot of ability to invest. Everything's at like an all-time minimum, and there's a scarcity of capital. Over the next year, interest rates, the central banks will reduce interest rates. That is what's projected. And people will be borrowing money to literally buy into this space, to buy OSIS. People will be borrowing money to buy more property and do more risky investments and build their businesses more. That's what happens when the interest rate goes down. People become more entrepreneurial and business-minded and active. The economy picks up like crazy when interest rates go down because people can borrow more money for cheaper. And so really the current world economies are extremely dependent on debt because everything is built on debt and the interest rate. They're very dependent on interest rate. Everyone that is building a business is borrowing money and making more money on that money. As long as you can make more profit than it costs you to hold that money, it makes sense. It's just a business move. So we're seeing that interest rates come down, people will invest more and be more active in the markets. When interest rates go down, markets go up. So the fact that the Web3 space is exploding right now before people even have the money, institutions and people have the money to really make it really blow up, is crazy. It's going to be only bigger and only bigger. And, when they talk about how Bitcoin's going to go over 100K, it is an absolute certainty. Y'all can mark my words, mark Michael Saylor's words, that Bitcoin is going over 100K. And that means that the entire crypto space is going to be like $3-4 trillion plus. What does that mean for OSIS? Well, we're going to be right there positioned before this. And it's extremely important, I'm telling y'all, that on the 21st with Bitmart, we all maintain our patience. And together, we spread the word and we build towards the major exchange listing with MEXC or with potentially another project. But it's going to be a huge exchange in April, 3 to 4 weeks after. So towards the end of April, that's just enough time, that 1 month,
to really drum up a lot of excitement and hype and social media activity, bringing like hundreds of thousands of people into the pages. Excuse me. And then we all move towards that goal together, and bam, we'll hit the next one like with gusto. We'll hit the goal like with all the momentum in the world, and then the momentum only builds from there. We go from the second exchange with now tens of thousands of holders, new users, and say, hey, everybody, let's all build towards the next goal, which is this exchange. It might be Gate. That is the move. That is the strategy. That is the plan. So as a result, we're not going to shout from the rooftops. We're not going to do crazy marketing and stuff for this first soft launch. We're going to be a little more quiet. We're not expecting the price to go crazy up and whatever. We're going to be quiet and patient and put all of the action and attention onto the second listing within a few weeks. That is the strategy. So I hope everyone understands. I hope everyone watches this video. It is a 2-hour live stream now. It's, I think, our longest video now. But this is really, really important that we all know what the move is and what the plan is, and that we move forward with it. It's really exciting. It's really, really, really exciting. The conversations that I've been having with our market maker, with our advisors, and all of these people with our marketing team. The marketing team that we're working with actually blew up, you know, the company that I showed you guys, the project that I showed you guys a few weeks ago, called Orange, ORNJ. The marketing team that we're working with blew up ORNJ and helped them get on several exchanges, and the price went from 6 cents to 80 cents in the first week. Like, that's the kind of excitement and action that they're bringing. They have an average of $5 million of trading volume every single day, 5 million USDT traded every single day. And most of that action is buying pressure and people buying more of the project, pushing the price and things like that. And so it's really exciting. There's a lot of strategy going on in the background. I'm excited to share with you guys now the official listing date, which is the 21st. But what I honestly see as the official listing date, which everyone else will learn about, is the second one, which is going to be in April, which is going to be the much bigger move. And every exchange listing after that is going to be even bigger, exponentially bigger when it comes to the amount of attention, the amount of marketing and momentum. And we're going to be like, I'm planning this at the same time. We're going to be releasing OSIS Mail and OSIS Vault at the same time as the bigger exchange listing. So even better, you know what I mean? Like, we're doing two major product launches at the same time that we're moving to the big goal of the next exchange. We're going to be marketing them both. Every user can get their free OSIS Mail account and start uploading things for free into OSIS Vault. We're not calling it Drive anymore. Vault sounds cooler because it's more secure, and it is Web3. So it's super exciting stuff. I'm really, really, really excited for everyone and everything that's upcoming. Henrik said, so what's for supper today, Jalal? I'm waiting for the invitation for that OSIS party for us old archangels. Hey, I spoke with Don about it yesterday. We're coming to Europe. We're going to come to Europe. Some gathering would be nice. I would love to celebrate after the second listing. So perhaps in May. I want to do it like in the springtime. That's a nice time of the year for like being, you know, traveling to. So my immediate goal, I'm thinking, is like this spring, sometime in May, that potentially we could all get together in Europe for everyone that's in Europe. And then in the US, everyone's kind of like spread around. So that's a little trickier, but yeah, let's see what we can do. Let's see what we can do. I really do want to meet everyone too. I want to see you, Henrik. I want to see Caesar too, Jacob as well. Europe, which city? Hey, we'll have to figure that out, man. Let's talk about it in the Discord. For now, I do have to get off. It is noon and I got other meetings to attend to today. Thank you so much for everyone being here, supporting and staying focused and patient with the project, with the team, and working with us on these next steps. The next phase of the project is huge. It's massive. It is like era defining. We're going to change everything and grow at a rapid pace. So I hope that everyone can stay here along with us for the ride. I would appreciate if you know, I like to keep old friends, good friends. So every Archangel, let's go and let's build this together. Thank you and have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day. Have a great weekend. I love you all. I will see you tomorrow.